The province of Quebec is pushing back against Justin Trudeau's very ambitious immigration strategy in Canada. Hello, I'm Adrienne Batra. With me are Brian Lilley and Warren Kinsella. Brian, I know the Truanons out there never want to hear this, but there's been some pushback in Quebec against Trudeau's immigration policy. And so what does Trudeau do? Well, he pulled a Trump and he went after the media, correct?
That's right. In the House of Commons, he stood up and he attacked Pierre-Carl Pelado, the owner of the Journal de Montréal, the owner of the biggest, most popular news network in Quebec and TV network in Quebec, and denounced him. He's also, by the way, Pelado's former leader of the Parti Québécois. He, it was a very Trumpian move by Trudeau to push back, but the immigration numbers and the immigration story in Quebec is something that every provincial party has concerns about. The big concern in Quebec is if we get huge numbers, they're talking 500,000 people a year, and if Quebec gets their proportionate share of that, they're worried about losing French. It's not an unfounded concern because Quebec has long had trouble attracting Francophone immigrants. They have trouble keeping immigrants in Quebec. As well, but they're worried if we get a flood of new people that don't speak French, are we in danger? That's not for a province that identifies itself around language like Quebec does, it's the type of thing that people rightly should be talking about. But the Trudeau guys, I mean, they're just all in on immigration at 500,000 with no debate. Here in the Toronto area, the big concern is where do we house all these people? Mm-hmm. Because the federal government and a bunch of municipal councils don't want to build housing. They want to stop houses from being built. They want to stop development. But you're going to say, well, take your 40% of 500,000 people a year. The Trudeau government wants to talk a good game about immigration, doesn't want to deal with the consequences. I'm not against the immigration numbers. I'm against them not thinking through what happens if we go that route.
Warren, we know that immigration is such an important and vital part of our economic stability and future in this country. And when a province like Ontario, for example, is saying to the feds, look, we want more of a say of the immigrants that we are getting here in terms of economic immigrants and filling in those vacant jobs, which there are many of, filling in those economic gaps where are going to make it better for all Ontarians, all Canadians, pick your province. Is that Quebec's argument here? And in this sort of debate, who wins that? The province of Quebec or Trudeau? Who's the winner in that sort of polarization of pouncing on the media for pointing out the obvious? Or does Justin Trudeau then get to turn around and go back to his old tropes of you're racist and you're this and you're that?
Well, it's always been Quebec's preoccupation. Since Jesus was a little fella, Quebec has always wanted control of immigration. To a large extent, they do. And it's a political winner for Legault. But what's very interesting is the point you made off the top. Trudeau didn't even go after Legault, who's the guy who's actually doing it. He goes after the media. And this is your comparison to Trump is exactly right. This is what Trudeau does whenever he gets cornered. You can almost set your watch by it. Like, the Aga Khan, SNC-Lavalin, the WE scandal, and now the Chinese scandal. Every single time when those stories break, always in the Canadian media and papers like ours, he said, it's not true. Nothing to see here, move along. Not true, not true, not true, until an abundance of facts builds up and he has to acknowledge it is true and he has to either apologize or do something about it. And it's just a dumb strategy because it's like, hey, Justin, wake up, Justin. We're not going to let go of the Chinese story. We're not. And you can say that we're making up as much as we want. Canadians, including Liberals, don't believe you.
Brian, last word.
Well, look, Trudeau's going to be picking a fight with every provincial leader in Quebec if he goes down this road. So he's got to be careful because Liberal strength is in Quebec and Legault is very popular right now. Talking about immigration in Quebec is very different than talking about it in any other part of the country. He should know that. He says he's a Quebecer, even though he was born and mostly raised in Ottawa. He says he's a Quebecer. He should be able to figure these things out. So it was a dumb move on Wednesday doing that. We'll see what happens going forward.
Is this yet another scandal brewing for Justin Trudeau? Well, time will tell. Log on to Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you think, and go to thetorontosun.com. Hit that subscribe button. You're going to find coverage on stories like this and others you will not find anywhere else.